guys, always great to be with you here in the shop. We have another fun project, so I want to invite you to come on over here and let's take a closer look. Well guys, it's great to be here in the shop with you, but already almost first thing today we've run into a problem, and it's a problem that kind of reminds me of my college days. I was hired on as the head of maintenance, head of grounds crew, I should say, at our college, and my boss was this very slender man, very knowledgeable, was able to do HVAC and all kinds of different things. I think he even did some machine work and things like that, and very, very knowledgeable. And it was my job to maintain all of the equipment, the lawn equipment. We had about a half a dozen of the lawn boys, and we also had some of these, we had a Toro lawn tractor, riding tractor. Also had an 8N Ford tractor and a John Deere tractor as well. And so once in a while I was maintaining these things. A lot of times in the winter when we weren't needing to mow lawns, that's when we would pull out the ones that we needed to fix and get them going. And so every once in a while I'd get myself into trouble and I wouldn't be able to find where, how I needed to fix a certain thing. And so I'd go to my boss, who was, like I said, very knowledgeable, and I would start to explain to him what the problem was. And he'd tip himself back in his chair, and sometimes he'd grab his coffee cup, or he'd put his hands on his chest with his fingers laced together, and just listen to what I was letting him know how the problems were, what I had tried, what I thought might be the problem, but I couldn't figure this out. And he just listened to me so intently. He'd take his glasses off and set them there on the desk like there was nothing else in the world that was as important as what I was telling him at that moment. And when I'd get done, he would usually stand up and he'd walk past me and he'd take his finger and go like this. And we'd walk over to this big filing cabinet we had in the entryway, and that bottom drawer, he'd reach down and he'd pull out that bottom drawer, and in that bottom drawer were all the manuals for every machine, for every tool, for everything that was on that campus. There was a manual in that drawer. And he'd take his fingers and he'd walk through those manuals until he'd come to whatever it was that I was working on. If it was a lawn boy, he'd pull that out. He'd hand it to me. He'd smile at me, give me a thumbs up, and he'd walk away, never saying a thing. And I tell you, it was frustrating, but we learned so much. And all the guys in the shop, we agreed that we probably got about as much of an education in the shop as we did in the classroom. And I really learned a lot. And one of the things that all of us in the shop there learned was what we called urban engineering. At home I called it jerry rigging. That's what my father called it. But the urban engineering, we came up with this idea that in an urban setting you might not always have a shop, and so sometimes you had to be a little bit ingenious and be able to do some things that weren't necessarily more conventional. And so I want to bring you down here and show you our project and show you what it is that I'm facing. So here it is. Do you know what this thing is? Have you ever seen one of these? And more importantly, have you ever used one of these? And I thought it would be neat to clean up. I found it a while back in the antique store. This belongs right up in here, but you can see it just slips right up in there and back out again. It fell out when I got here. There was a nail in this other end, and I'm going to get another nail and put it in there. But that's where that's supposed to go, if that gives you any clues. You squeeze it right here, and this will open up back and forth. So if you have any guesses, pause right here, write it down in the comments, and we'll get to the rest of this cleanup and I'll show you how it works. So guys, as I showed you already, this slips through in and out. So this is all stripped out. These threads are still good, but these are not. So what I thought I would do is to press this on through like that, and instead of putting anything here, I would drill a hole right there and down here on this end, and use the other end of both of these rods and re-thread them. The problem I have is, well, my threader is broke, so that's not going to work. So I got to thinking, how am I going to make this work? So I got to looking around in all of my stuff, and I found some nuts that fit these threads really, really well. And I grabbed those, and I found a bolt here that is about the size that I need, and I've already cut off these threads because these threads will not fit in here. But I do have, where is it? This thing here, which I've already threaded this down just a little bit, and I thought I would put some threads on the end of here and duplicate this. Cut that off, put a point on there, and we should be able to thread that in. So that's how I'm going to manufacture that. But how do we thread this? Well, I've gone through all of my stash as well, and I found some self-tapping screws. And these self-tapping screws fit this nut perfectly. So we're going to use some urban engineering, and we are going to drill these holes. I think, I'm not sure, but I think this one and this one will be the hardest steel. So it should, and I'm hoping this isn't too hard, that this won't thread. I like the threads on this. Let me bring you down here a little bit closer and show you what we've got here. All right, this one here is the longest, which I think would be great to be able to use to thread through there, but I don't really like that cutting tip. This one here, I think, has the best cutting tip, and I do have more of these if I ruin one and I need to get another one. But I thought if I could get this one through and then finish it up with this one. This one's a little short. I don't think it's going to go all the way through my piece right here. But like I said, I like this cutter. It fits the screw very nicely. And so we should be able to tap our holes in this and make this work. So let's see if we can't make this thing usable again. So this is where I'm skeptical about just how this might work. I'm hoping we can make it work very nicely here, but we'll see. So this is the screw that has that best cutting tip, I think. And we'll set that right there, try to keep it straight up and down, and see if we can't make this thread this hole. I think it's working, guys. This metal must not be as hard as I thought. I was afraid it might be. Test will be when we go to put the thread this end in there. So far it seems to be working. half tempted to try to use my drill on low. Maybe I'll try it on the next one. Last thing I want to do though is break the screw inside of this hole. Then I'm gonna have, hey, I think I'm through. Then I'm gonna have a real mess. Okay, I think we're through. Let me take, now I'm not afraid to use my driver. Let's take this long one and run it through with the driver. All right, let's see how this is gonna work. Look at that. All right, now, test of truth will be this right here. I could dance a jig, guys. It worked. That is wonderful. All right, guys, we've got both of these threaded. But now I need to make my other piece here out of this bolt. So we're going to try to thread this top so that it'll go in there, and then we will cut it off to length and put that point on there. So let's see if we can't get this tightened in here and threaded. All right, guys, cross your fingers. Let's hope we can get this properly threaded. All right, guys, here is the first one, and I'm not sure, I'm presuming this is an original piece. Somebody else might have put that on there, but I'm putting the nut on there to lock it into place so it doesn't move around, and it fit very well. Let's take this extra nut off and put it on this one here. Look at that. Look at that. That is wonderful. It will fit on there. We'll be able to lock this nut down. We've got both of those looking good. We've got these points fixed up and working well, but this is all corroded and the back of this spring is rusty, so let's go clean it up on the wire brush. So I want to wax all these parts up, keep them from rusting, and keep them slick. So we'll let those dry and then we'll polish it out nicely. Oops. All right, guys, let's put this thing together. Slide that in right there. We'll take, squeeze this, slide this in like that. There we go. Well, guys, have you figured out what it is? Any ideas of what it might be? It's called a trammel points. I know it's very hard to see right here, but I think it's quick something trammel. Quick adjust, maybe. I'm not sure what that says. Adjusting or quick acting, that's what it is. A-C-T-I-N-G. So quick acting trammel. And again, just squeezing the spring allows you to move and adjust this trammel. So let me show you how it works. So I don't know that I have a real good example here, but let's say that I want to transfer a length from one thing to another, something that's rather large. I can take this and put this on 2 points, squeeze it in here in the middle until it adjusts the way where it needs to be, and I can convert this length onto another object. And now I can take, that's the length of that box, and I can put it down onto a board, and I will know that that board will be the same length as that. And so if you are using, I think they used to use this on larger objects like, I don't know, ships or wagons and things like that. And if you wanted to transfer some points from what you were working on or what you were fixing and be able to set it over there and it's locked into place, this isn't going to move. I suppose if you dropped it, it might, but those points right now are set. And I could set this down and I could work here knowing what that size is, so that I can just take this, pull this up, and we can set it anywhere we want, make marks on these 2 endpoints, and I'd be able to transfer those measurements and have them there at the ready anytime I needed them. And so that's what this is. Now that's about the max. I know that most of us would probably say, well, it's easier to do it with a tape measure. Yeah, then you got to remember the measurements. Maybe this is a general standard measurement and you're going to be using other measurements with it. You can set this down on a board. You'll know what this measurement is. All you have to do is remember the other measurements that you need. You can put your tape out there and work with your tape, but then you have this as your standard measurement all the time. So that's what it is for transferring a measurement. It's called a trammel points, and then you can take and bring that back down, and that is its standard length. So let me show you. I also have a wooden one here that I restored a while back. Let me bring you down here on the bench and let's take a closer look at that. So here is the wooden trammel points that I restored a while back, and I'll try to remember to put this video, this restoration, into the description of this video here. And you can see you can use this as a trammel point so that you can adjust, turn this and adjust these back and forth on here, but you can also make a center point. And I even had to modify this pencil, and it will press in there, and now you have a compass, and you can make yourself lines, circles, and I will put the video where I actually use this to make my the grinding bench that I have over there. It's rounded on the one side and then the other side is flat, and I use this as a large compass to be able to make that circle. So I'll try to put that in the description as well. But here are the two trammels I have. This is the wooden one. This here would be a little bit more fragile. It could break. This one here would seem to me to be a little more durable. I love how that fit and how that worked. I have the nuts on there to lock those in place so they don't vibrate out or thread out. They're both nice and tight. So guys, what do you think about jerry rigging or urban engineering? The way we were able to thread those holes, drill new holes, and put the threads in with some self-tapping screws. To me, it worked. I was just amazed how well it worked. And I think it's fun to be able to put these kinds of things together in this way. So hey guys, share with me in the comments if you knew what this was to begin with, and if you basically, I'd like to know if you ever used some urban engineering and how it went. So hey guys, it's been great to have you here in the shop with me. Love having you come by for a visit. If this was entertaining, give us a thumbs up. Share this with others that you think might enjoy it, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. I hope you guys have a great day. God bless.